What up, Salvador Braven here. Welcome back to Life with Freedom YouTube channel. On the channel, we talk about unlocking success in your life and really reaching your potential. So how do you do that? How do you unlock success when it comes to building wealth, when it comes to growing your income, when it comes to having happiness, spirituality, joy in your life, all of these different things, and unlocking more freedom? We talk about that on this YouTube channel. And today I want to kind of get more into the mindset of high achievers, the mindset of champions, and how to have a mindset which is really going to kindle success in your life. What are some of the shifts that you need to make in order to do that? And we're getting into that in just a second. I believe that you need to be the safeguard of your mind because no one else is going to do that for you. When you let weeds grow in your mind, it's almost like you have this toxic environment which you're living in, and everyone knows about that. You have brain fog, or you let negative thoughts in, or all of a sudden you find yourself no longer having a successful mindset, no longer taking action, no longer being as confident as you once were. So being the safeguard of your mind, and your mind is again like kind of a garden, and being the warrior, or being the guard, if you will, at the gates when it comes to your mind is so freaking important. So let's talk about a couple of different key ways in which you can encourage yourself to have an incredibly powerful mindset so you can go out there, you can be more successful in whatever it is that you're trying to do. Let's talk about it now. Number one is to pay attention to the voices that you let in. So by that, I mean who you're listening to in your life as it relates to this objective which you are trying to achieve, whether that's maybe losing weight or growing your wealth or increasing your income or having a better job, right? Or being more happy or going on a spiritual journey of some kind. Thinking about that success that you're trying to unlock, really be aware of who it is that you're listening to, because those people can bring you down or they can empower you. And all too often, whether it's our family or friends or whoever it is that we have, our job or communities we're part of, sometimes those voices are negative and they're toxic, and they put us into mindsets which are not positive, mindsets that are not going to contribute to our success in the long run, right? Mindsets that keep us down, that hold us down. In the same way, if we have like chains that are shackled to our ankles and we're not able to move from that very spot because of the people in our life. So be very conscious of who you let into your life. When you upgrade your company, you begin to upgrade your mindset as well. So pay attention to the people that you're listening to. Consciously watch videos, podcasts, read books, things that are going to actually put yourself into a positive mindset. Listen to the people that are encouraging you, that are empowering you to go out there and to achieve your goals and your objectives and your dreams. When you do that, all of a sudden you feel more inspired, you feel more potential, you feel like you can actually do this. And when you also study success examples, it makes it so much easier. So number one, pay attention to who you let into your mind. Number two is to have big goals. It costs nothing, my friend, to dream big. You need to have big goals. Don't have little goals, okay? Little goals are great and maybe achievable. Someone will tell you, and you should have little goals. You don't get disappointed. BS. Have big goals. And the reason why you should have big goals is because it gets you excited. It gets you inspired. You start to think about, wow, that's a really big goal. How could I even begin to take a step towards that? Maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. You start to get inspired, you start to get excited. Whoever told you not to dream big, you should never listen to that person. So make sure you dream big, you have big goals. You have goals that almost intimidate you a tiny bit, that are exciting, that if you did accomplish this would radically change your life. So that could be, for example, maybe when it comes to your health, losing 10 pounds, losing 20 pounds, losing 30 pounds. How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? Try to get more specific about those big dreams and goals that you have. What is it you want to feel like, right? When it comes to your health or when it comes to your income, would it be hitting 6 figures? Would it be hitting $1 million? Becoming rich? Really just hold no bars. Don't hold yourself back when it comes to your dreams, because those dreams are going to give you that momentum that you need to really take action, to make sure that you're taking action every single day, to wake up early, to do the things that you have to do. Because again, if it was something small, you wouldn't even be bothered. You wouldn't even want to do any of that because you're like, the costs don't line up to the value. The costs don't line up to the potential reward if I am successful. But if it's a mega reward, all of a sudden those costs begin to line up. Number three, begin to actually turn your life into a learning center. Begin to become a lifelong learner. If you went to school and you think that that would prepare you for the real world, I'm willing to bet that you are aware the fact that it really does not, right? There's so many different topics that are just left out of school when it comes to teaching money, when it comes to teaching about law, when it comes to teaching about, jobs and cars and real estate and all these different things. You need to take responsibility for your education. And that's exactly the next mindset, right? So the mindset that you need to have when you're being successful is that your success success is dependent on that next thing which you are learning. And if you actually learn that next thing, it puts you even faster and closer towards your end objective. You can bet if you take person A and person B, and person A is learning every single day, every single week, they're learning something new, they're learning about how to actually achieve something, right? They're learning how to get faster success, they're learning when it comes to their discipline, what they're trying to do, right? They're learning their craft more. That person is gonna achieve success far more likely than person B. You're just kind of sitting back, hoping that someone's gonna educate them, not taking any kind of action whatsoever to do it themselves. You gotta be person A. You gotta be a student of success. You gotta be a student when it comes to the craft that you're trying to master. You really have to make your entire life about this. So that could be listening to podcasts in the car on the way to work. That could be watching YouTube videos when it's late at night rather than watching TV. And be doing things like reading a book on your day off, on Saturday or Sunday. That could be tuning into new voices, right? And making sure that you're learning as you go when it comes to key trends. Whatever it is, make sure you're soaking up as much information as you can, because you don't want that to be the reason that you fail. If you failed because you just didn't learn fast enough, you didn't learn enough, or you weren't committed at all to learning what you got to do to be successful, you don't want to fail for that reason, because that's something you can control. So the next mindset that I'm talking about now is making sure that you are empowering yourself by really seeking out education, by training, by showing up every day. And that's exactly how you go from being someone who's just a nobody to becoming a champion athlete. You got to show up to practice, you got to be training, you got to be drilling. And if you're willing to do that, you're going to get better and better and better. The next mindset hack is that if you really want to unlock success in your life, you want to become a champion, you want to become someone who follows through, who's a winner, who is successful in the things that they try to do, you got to do what I'm about to mention. And that's, you got to be willing to embrace when something is not so comfortable. So you got to be willing to embrace uncertainty, definitely, but also you need to be willing to embrace that feeling of like, maybe this isn't so comfortable, or maybe I'm just not, I'm doing something and it's like a little bit painful almost. I'm trying to push through this barrier and it's kind of hard and I want to quit, right? You got to be that person who's willing to show up and be like, you know what? I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And maybe I'm gonna go and run a mile, but I know it's gonna hurt my feet after, and I'm gonna be huffing and puffing, I'm gonna be sweating, and I'm gonna be feeling uncomfortable, I'm gonna be feeling not so great, right? At the end of that workout, but I know that I at least ran a mile, right? I'm at least a little bit getting closer, a little bit getting better, right? You gotta be willing to embrace that feeling of, you know what, this isn't just so comfortable. This is a little bit uncomfortable. And the more that you actually embrace that, and be willing to say, you know what, I'm actually okay with that, because I know that's the price that I have to pay. That's the price that I have to pay if I want to be successful. That is no problem. I am willing to pay that price, and almost being willing to be like, you know what, other people out there aren't willing to do that. So for example, like earning money, they're not willing to put in an extra hour after work to work on their business. They're not willing to put in an extra hour on the weekend in order to work on their new website or something like that. They're not willing to do that. That's why they're not successful, right? So it also creates a barrier where people that aren't serious about their dreams aren't taking action. It's also really good for you, because that means you're gonna have less competition. So my next tip when it comes to mindset hack is to be willing to embrace that feeling of not being comfortable and to push through that, and to really view it as though, that big mindset, that big vision, that big dream that we have, that cost is worth that. If it means that I can move forward and move closer to that, I'm willing to embrace that feeling of not being so comfortable, and I'm willing to push through those barriers of pain, because I am serious, I'm strong, and the more you do that, the stronger you grow. The last tip that I'm going to talk about is kind of a little bit different when it comes to the other ones, but really I think this is one of the most actually important when it comes to a mindset of a champion, a mindset of someone who is successful. And I'll explain exactly why. And that you need to take responsibility for yourself. Responsibility when it comes to the health of yourself, your mindset, your mental health, your soul, however it is you'd like to phrase it. You need to take responsibility for this person, which is you. So for example, someone who's trying to be successful, let's just say, but all the time they're feeding themselves junk food, they're waking up late, they're drinking, they're engaged in not so great habits or addictions or whatever, that person is far less likely to be successful in the long run. They're not waking up early, they're not feeding themselves with nutrition, they're not being willing to actually feed their brain as well, and to have healthy, positive influences when it comes to that. They're not really making time for themselves when it comes to feeding their soul, whether that's affirmations or meditation or just appreciation, or being willing to do something to just kind of turn off all the different negativity that's in their life. They need to be willing to put themselves into a positive mental state on a consistent basis in order to persevere through the obstacles which are never going to come to the forefront. Don't just invest in your education. Don't just invest in taking massive action and moving towards your goals. Also invest in yourself. I promise you, the more that you begin to put yourself first, your needs first, your health, your mental health, the quality of life in that way, the health of your soul, right? The things that you're doing to actually feed you, if that makes sense, the more that you put that first, you then to actually have the power and the energy to go out there and to even stake your claim in a larger way, to even go out there against your obstacles in a much more ferocious sense. You become stronger. So it's very important that you develop some of these lessons and also to incorporate this into your life, and it becomes a lifestyle change. Sometimes people will look at you and they're like, dude, like this is so odd. You used to wake up really late and now you wake up early, or I can't believe now that you're doing something like meditation, or I can't believe you're doing this, you're doing that, and that's okay. It's okay, because what you're doing is you're changing your habits, right? The habits of successful people are different from the habits of normal people. The habits of successful people support them in their goals. They're all like streamlined, if you will. It's almost like an aerodynamic lifestyle where you're all heading towards that ultimate dream or goal that you have. So you need to make sure that you're investing in yourself, so you do have the energy, so you have the ability to actually go out there and to continue and persist for the long run, because again, this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So I hope you enjoyed some of these different tenets or principles, if you will, as it comes to actually building that rock solid, strong mindset so you can unlock the inner champion within you. So my goal here is to really just help you reach your full potential, to empower you, to give you the resources that you need to be more successful in your life, right? To do things, whether it comes to my free video content, education, etc., and to really just make this available for you so you can be more successful in whatever area it is that you're trying to attack. So maybe that's happiness, spirituality, that could be area related to your work, it could be building wealth, your income, right? Whatever it is that you're trying to do, I'm telling you, there is an optimal way to go about doing that and to putting yourself in a great state, a great mindset, so that you can be successful no matter what it is that you're trying to do. And I really try to do that on this YouTube channel. If you resonated with some of the things that I talked about and you want to learn more about some of my different teachings as it relates to putting yourself in a positive mental state, unlocking your potential, and really reaching just the highest version of yourself and being the best version that you can be, go and check out my course down below on decoding your mind and understanding yourself a tiny bit, the things that are holding you back, so that you can actually cut some of those cords and be more successful. In addition, some of the things that the easy hacks which you can use in order to put yourself in a really great state so that you follow through on those things that you're always procrastinating about. So this is a great course for people that are beginners, that are introductory to this content, maybe they're even never considered something like this. Really great to go and check out those links in the description. But give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. Come subscribe for more content like this. My name is Sal, and I will see you next time.